Hey, 747 Elephant Magic here. Going to be showing you how to make Psytrance starting from the beginning to the end, just basic, probably just going to be a loop, maybe a couple sections, just to get you some basic ideas, but I'm going to start with drums and move on from there. It may not be a specific format but to how I'm going to be teaching, but I'm going to try to cover everything in a video. Don't know how long it's going to be. So here we go. So the first thing that I usually start out with when I'm making one or a track is usually just finding a good kick. So I have a bunch of them, and usually I just find a kick with a pitch I like, and if I don't like the pitch of it, then I'll change the pitch of it. So to give you an example of that, just to find a time when, just try to show you as much as I can at once. I'm going to pick one that I like the tone of, but I don't like the pitch of. So I'm going to find one like that. Okay, I like that one. Put it in the sampler, and then it's at a G, so I'm going to go into the instrument thing. I'm going to right click on G, which is right here, so that now it's tuned to that. So if I want to change the pitch in here and piano roll, it'll actually be the right pitch. That's just a basic thing that can help you a lot if you're trying to make it match up with the bass or something. So let's say that I want it to be, so as originally it's going to be here, I want it to be down a little bit more. So F or E. Let's make it really bassy. So basic 4/4. You can also do it by using the clicking and then using this thing to change the pitch, but I like doing it this way. Okay, so we have, I'm going to do 145 for the tempo. Okay, it's a little bit too long for my taste, so I'm just going to take it down a little bit using the out, or you can also use the instrument properties, but I'm just going to do it this way. That sounds good for now. So it's in channel 1 or FX1. First thing I'm going to do is get an EQ on that. And pull out some of the mids to make room. Some of the highs a little bit. So that sounds good. Pull down a little bit of the sub. I'm going to use a limiter, and I'm going to compress it a tiny bit. Got it at 1.2 to 1, and the threshold down to about -15 dB because it's not a very loud sample. Okay, so there we go with that. Now I'm going to add a hi-hat just to get the beat going. For Psytrance, let's say I want to make it kind of mellow, so I'm going to use, you can use pretty much any sample, doesn't really matter, but I'm going to use this one, actually this one, and I'm going to set that up right here. Just, this is going to be a generic beat to start, and then I'm going to give it a little bit more of an open Psytrance type sound. So I'm going to assign it a free mixer track. It's going to go to 2, and then so we have this. It's pretty boring, but it works. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some reverb. I'm using ambience or ambience, depending on how you want to say it, or ambience, I don't know. And I like that reverb plugin, it's pretty good. So it sounds kind of like this for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a flanger, but not too much, just like a light one. I forget which one is the one that I really like. That one sounds pretty good. Okay, let's see how it sounds with this. Okay, I think I probably should have EQ'd it first, so I'm gonna put an EQ up there. I'm gonna keep it way up in the highs, I don't want too much mids. Okay, let's find a clap or snare of some sort. So let's get a clap in here. I don't know where to get it from. I'll get it from here. Actually, never mind. Yeah. I don't like that one. I think a 909 clap will be better. Okay. Once again, I'm going to EQ it. Here it has kind of not a lot of mids, but a decent amount. Okay, so let's just work with that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pattern, I'm just going to break it into parts, so I'm going to cut that, hi-hat, and then paste it. So here we go, there's that. I'm going to take the clap, cut it, paste it. So there we go, now we have this. Okay, so I'm going to use massive for the bass. I know there's not much for the drums, I'm just trying to move along quickly, not too slow. And what I did for that, to move it down, you press Alt, up or down arrow. That's something that I just learned not too long ago. It helps a lot. Okay, so what I would do for bass is just, what you're going to want to do is have, well, first off, start a new pattern, and then pick a note. I think we did it on E. Let's do it down here. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is add a filter. I'm going to do low pass 4 here, all on one. I'm going to do a saw, and I'm going to link it to this. I'm going to do the decay to be kind of quick to start, and make sure this is all the way up. Okay, sounds pretty good. And add a little bit of noise. Bright noise is the one that I want to do. Just hope it cut through a tiny bit better. Yeah, that's going to sound better. And then what you can do is you can take one of these and modulate the pitch. Okay, that's not what we're going to keep it doing. We're going to change it. So it just adds a little bit of punchiness where there normally wouldn't be any. Okay, so let's see how it sounds with the kick. Hopefully it sounds good. Sounds pretty good. So let's mix it up. Okay, so I'm hearing that it's kind of a little bit more high pitched than I want, so I'm going to bring the decay down. Because when it's doing that fast note, it's not going all the way down, so the note sounds more like an F than an E. You don't want that because it'll be a pain later. So let's try it lower and see how it sounds. So that's more for like a higher TB303 style bass, but if you want something maybe more like dark, I'm gonna try this maybe. Okay. And you can always adjust this too, how far. So I'm going to give a macro control to this so I can control it. Assign it a free mixer track. Okay, sorry, it's playing over and over. Okay, so let's take that, let's play around with it. So, got our hi-hat, got our clap, and let's try to see how those all sound together. Trying to remove some of the muddiness. Tip for basses is a lot of time muddiness is in the 200 to 600 zone. That sounds a lot better. Okay, that's not what I'm trying to do. Just pause it. So I'm gonna try. I don't know how this one sounds. This one I made a long time ago. So something I did last time to add a lot of, well, on one of my tracks that I haven't released yet, to add a lot of air and texture to the sound, is I used Patcher, which is really cool if you want to do some advanced patches and things. And what I did is I added a phaser. Okay, and I added ambiance. I did the phaser after, and then I filtered. No, that's not what I did. Then I put an EQ. And I need to make sure that this one's on a good setting, so one way to do that is to do it this way. So I'm just going to do it this way so I can find out which one. I believe this is the one that I want. It's the drum easy one or whatever. So I'm also going to route a normal one through. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to set the phaser to be on. There's one that I liked, I don't remember which one it is, but anyway, I'm going to cut out the lows, just leave some of the highs. Adds a little bit of like roughness and growl to it, but so you can add a lot of different effects to it that'll respond to the bass. Take the dry completely out, since I already have a dry signal. That sounds pretty good. Okay. Then I'm going to take this. Stereo enhancer of some sort. I like to use this one from Melda Productions. And I'm just gonna do full. Anyway, so that adds a little bit. See, so that's normal. Here's with it. So it does make a little bit of difference. You add a limiter. With a compressor, actually, is what it is. And I'm just going through this quickly, so and you could even do a different effect. You could do like, if I added like a fruity flanges. Could do that too. Okay, so there's that. That's just some bass effects you can do. You could do that on any instrument to add more effects to it. So we've got that. So let's say we want to add a little bit more like flair to the drum beat. What you can do is you can do a little white noise. Take it from just 3 exhaust, set it to that. Just, you don't even need 3, you can just use one of them, top one, and then I would high pass it a little bit, so it's going to sound like okay, assign it a free mixer track. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this, I'm going to right click on the arrow that goes to that track, sidechain, and then I'm going to do a limiter, which is how you sidechain. Do input 1, which means that's just the one sidechain input that it has. Let's see how loud it is. So let's do a pretty harsh compression, and then add a little bit of reverb after it. I'm going to add that with the clap. So we have our clap on here. It's a little bit too much highs. Okay, so we'll make that one unique right here, and then I'm just going to take this out of that one. So now it's going to come at the end of 8 bars. So it's like this. So let's play with it a little more. Maybe we can make some cool sounds out of it. So maybe I can automate the resonance. So let's see how it sounds, just the pattern. This one. Just this section, I guess. So let's make it not time-based. So not time-based, and then we'll make it off. And do global. But I'll make it a little bit more varied each time, so it can be a little bit more random, get a little bit more interesting off sound, which is kind of sounds good with psychedelic trance. So got this. So that sounds good. So let's just add another bar. And let's change up the bass. Let's make it last a little bit longer. And we'll make it do some more like jumps and stuff. So let's get it going like full force. So let's say we're going to do it every time. Okay, that's off. There we go. Change this to beat. If we add flanger to this, it might make it even more variable. That just sounds cheesy. Okay. So actually, I think what I'm going to do is, let's hear this, how it sounds. So let's make it a little bit interesting. So we're in the key of E, so it was only F sharp. Let's find a note that sounds good. This one probably will. If we make it, so let's say we want to be in harmonic minor. I don't know if you know keys, but that might help. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that, I'm back. Oops. If I do like this. That sounds cool. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take this part and put it towards the end. Maybe this will sound good. That sounds pretty cool. So then what I can do, like what you can do to get it really mixed up, and like if you're trying to do really confusing psytrance, which is really cool, I like that kind of stuff. So you can do it like, maybe chop it up a little bit. So take this, like do it twice. Maybe pull this one twice, so you've got like so you got a little bit of a rhythm going. I think what I'm going to do is make this one every other 4 beats. Actually, you know what? I think now that it's like this, it sounds best just right here. And this is what music is about, testing and figuring out what you want to do. That's pretty much, especially with Psytrance, because it's not very clean cut. Like you can do a lot with it and you don't really have any limits. I mean, unless you're trying to do a specific genre. Anyway, so that's the bass patterns. So I went back to the beginning. Okay, so that sounds good. So this is kind of just like an intro. Like this, obviously this can be built up to, and then this can be built up to over time. But overall, I guess I'm just trying to show you some ideas of what you could do. And I may just put the FLP in the description. Actually, I will after this, so that you guys can kind of learn from what I did. But I mean, I can't guarantee that everything's going to work perfectly, because it, you know, I might have different plugins from you, and I can tell you what plugins I used, but I'm not going to link every single one, but you can find them and download them. I recommend to download them. But you can see kind of what I did and maybe take a closer look at it. Anyway, okay, so continuing on. So we have this. So maybe I want to lead into that better, right? So maybe I'll hold off on the notes. It doesn't sound like this maybe. So starting from the third bar. Crap, sorry. So I'm going to make a transition. So there we go. So okay, so I'm noticing that the bass and the kick are kind of conflicting a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bass, I'm going to take the kick and I'm going to sidechain it to the bass. Then I'm going to add a limiter after. Actually, I'll put it before the reverb and everything. It sounds a little bit more natural. So there we go. Same thing, sidechain channel 1, see how it sounds. There, it sounds a little bit better now. Okay. So there you have it, there's a little bit. Okay, now let's work on a lead. Depending on what kind of Psytrance you're doing, you can use a lot of different leads, but what I'm going to do is like the standard kind of super saw, but like a darker one. And credit goes to the YouTuber who showed a hardstyle lead synthesizer. I'll try to find him and link him in the description so that he can have credit, because I based it a lot off of what he had on his, but I mean, I took, I did my own thing with a lot of it too, so it's not completely copied. But you can feel free to copy me, I don't really care. It's fine, it's about learning. Spread the message. So, what it is just a super saw. It's 9 voices, it's detuned to about 16, all the way over. It's just 3 saws, slightly off, whatever. I'll link the tutorial for that, because I'm not going to spend time trying to teach you how to do that. But basically, it seems like our pattern for the bass, I'm just going to take this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to piano roll, and then so I can see the notes that I have. So I know it's mostly E, so I'm going to try to make a pattern that goes along with it. let's see how it sounds with the kick. Okay, I'm gonna cut it and then put it in its own. It's already made the pattern right here. Hit paste. So I'm just gonna take an E triad maybe and try to work with that. So E, G, and what would it be? B, right? Yeah, B. So see how that sounds with it. I don't know. Might not sound good. No, it's a little bit too dark sounding for that. I mean, if you like it, you can feel free to play around with that, but I don't really like it. I think I'm going to go up an octave, maybe it'll sound better. Nope. Maybe an arpeggiated type thing like that might sound good. Let's see. That sounds pretty good. Okay, let's add effects to this lead. See if we can get it to sound how we would like it to. Or how I'd like it to sound. So, first thing I'm going to do is add just a cut to the bottom. I think what I might do to make that bass cut through a little bit more is add, so I'm gonna take this, find the bass patterns, so edit, cut, insert, layer, insert, VX plus, I'm gonna paste it, open this up, slide it over here, right click those, set children, so now it's going to control both, and I want it to be this kind. The volume is just gonna, the automation, it's gonna be really quick, cut off, and it's gonna have a little bit of a high pass, not much though. Send 4, so that should help. So it's got that. That's the right one. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller filter. Okay, maybe I'm not going to do an LFO. Okay, so let's just do this. Okay, so that's starting to sound good. Okay, so this kind of sounds like good build-up. So I feel like it should move more, like as far as like the progression. So we're on an E and we're in E minor, so maybe we could do like a, I don't know, we'll try some things out. We'll try a circle of fifths progression. So I may just start by taking this, scroll it on over, and see if I just shoot all the ones that are E's that are important, just change them. So we are at 1, so we can start anywhere. So we could start at like 3, 6, doesn't really matter. So I'm going to start at 6, or 3 actually. See how this sounds? Let's take this one too. G, G, and G. We'll leave that one. Maybe this could come up. Maybe that will sound good going up a little higher. Yeah, maybe this should go up to the next little half step one, like that, to B and C. That'll sound good, probably. Okay. Nah. Let's just go G to A. Okay, that'll sound good. That sounds pretty good. Okay, so then we're at 3, we can go to 6. So let's go ahead and do that. So move all these over, go up to 6. So G is 3, A is 4, 5, 6, let's see. I'm just going to copy these straight over and see how they sound. Oh, I didn't copy these over, right? That's why it's all weird. Okay. That sounds good. So I'm not going to move this up to kind of create tension. I'm not going to actually move these ones up, but then I'm going to carry this over by 8 bars. And you move this one up too. So we're at 6, we can go to 2 or 4. I'm going to go to 4 because that sounds like it would be good. It sounds like it wants to move down a little bit, at least to me. So 4 would be A. But instead of going down to A on that top one, I'm going to do it at B because it's kind of, that one's kind of wanting it to resolve to a half step, I can tell. Yeah, that sounds good. I don't know, these are just random things I'm thinking, like, what would sound good? And that seems to sound, in my mind, it sounds natural. I feel like this should go back to the root one that we started with. Back to here, maybe? And we're on A, so we'll move this to A. See how that sounds. Sounds good, but it feels like there still needs to be more of a progression behind some of it, or after some of it, so we'll have to figure that out in a second. But basically, if you know your chord progressions, you can pretty much just, you know, circle of fifths sounds pretty good for trance in general. So now let's change the root notes for this, and let's make it one of those like full force type of basses, where we got all three. So I'm just control, highlighting, moving it over, and get the whole thing. It went up to G, and it went up to, oh my gosh, I keep forgetting to hit shift. It went up to C, I think, yeah. Then it went down to A. So let's see how that sounds with it. That's the wrong G, that's G sharp. Maybe over the course of this, I'm going to open the filter up, right? It's the bass. This one's the one. Okay, so let's just, easy way to do this is just tweak the knob. Tools, last tweaked, create automation clip. So there's just a little bit, some basics. Yeah, mostly what makes Psytrance is the bass. Hope this helped. This is kind of me just testing what tutorial format. So if you want to know more specifics, just YouTube message me. It's summer for me, so I'm able to make a lot more videos. I can do a lot of tutorials for FL Studio. I know I used to have LMMS videos up. I haven't been using it yet, but I saw that there was a 1.0 and I downloaded it, so I may, and this is a real maybe, I don't think I will, but there's a possibility I could do some tutorials if there's requests. But I'd prefer to work with FL Studio for tutorials. So if there's anything specific you want to know, like Psytrance related, let me know. I'm probably going to have an EP out by the end of summer. I know that what I just showed you isn't great. That's just because I'm trying to get used to tutorials and I didn't have anything prepared before. But what's on the EP so far will be pretty good. I'll link my SoundCloud down below, and hopefully I'll have some previews up pretty soon. But yeah, check it out. Let me know if there's anything you want me to cover related to Psytrance or most genres of electronic music. I'm not really big like into dubstep or trap or any of those genres, or like electro. Not that I don't like them, I've never really been interested in producing them. So I can teach like about like Psytrance, maybe a little bit about hardcore, or I know how to make a hardstyle kick, but there's plenty of tutorials on that. I like doing experimental stuff, also like drum and bass, like more like jungle than drum and bass. But any of that stuff, if you want tutorials on it, just let me know and I can try to make some quick tips on it. But it could be specific, like if you want to know how to, make a certain kind of, like if you want to know how to do different break beats or fills, be like, I want to learn that. But I would prefer that over hearing something like, I want you to teach me how to make a drum and bass song, because as you can tell, like from this little thing that I just did, I don't really know what to, it's not that easy to show you how to make an entire song, but I can show you little parts, and I could like show you different things. I could show you how to master a track if you can give me some pointers on what you want to learn, that kind of stuff. So yep, like I said, this is kind of just a test run, so if you like it, let me know. If you feel like it needs improvement, which I know it does, you can feel free to tell me in a private message, but don't complain on the comments about, oh, well, this or that. It's not helpful. I just like to know if there's anything that I can do to help you, because that's what I'm here for, is just to help. Anyway, that's my spiel. I'll see you guys later. Have fun, and let me know if you want help with anything or want tips, because I am fine with showing.